Most creators begin on a path defined by reaction and exhaustion. They post content at random, hoping that if they throw enough at the wall, the algorithm will eventually make something stick. This strategy fails because views without identity are hollow. When an audience can't tell who you are or what you stand for, they have no reason to engage with your brand or trust your recommendations. The intentional brand takes the opposite approach. Instead of reacting to trends, the creator dictates exactly what the audience associates with their name, moving viewers toward a clear, predefined decision. Every piece of content should serve a specific end goal. Without that desired outcome, even a creator with millions of views is simply wandering aimlessly through the digital landscape. The pressure to look professional often forces creators into a robotic posture. They hide their personality behind a monotone delivery, stripping away the very traits that could make them interesting. This pursuit of perfection actually destroys credibility. Modern audiences are deeply skeptical of polished wins and curated success. They find it difficult to trust a persona that never shows the struggle. Proactively sharing failures and losses builds a connection that accomplishments alone cannot reach. It proves that the creator is a human being operating in the real world, rather than a filtered character. Trying to maintain a perfect image while chasing the algorithm turns content creation into an exhausting, aimless grind. When you hide your messy middle and your humanity, you become a replaceable information source. You lose the ability to stand as an unshakable authority that people actually want to follow. Branding is the intentional pairing of relevant things, done consistently, until the audience draws an inherent association. It is a simple operational mechanic. Nike utilized this mechanic to claim the basketball market. They needed to be the brand associated with the highest level of the sport, so they engineered a strategic partnership with the era's most dominant player. By linking their products to Michael Jordan, Nike gave the concept of athletic greatness a specific, recognizable face. Brand is the byproduct of that consistency. It is the moment the audience automatically links two disparate concepts together without needing a further explanation. Phil Knight engineered these long-term associations from the start, choosing the abstract values he wanted the public to attach to the Nike name before the company ever reached global scale. Harley-Davidson achieved this by pairing their motorcycles with the concept of freedom for decades. Today, a customer doesn't just see a machine, they see a gateway to the open road. The beauty of this approach is its simplicity. To build your brand, you must simply and deliberately choose the associations you want the world to make with your name. Turning your personal history into a strategic asset requires a three-part framework: a catalyst that created a need for change, a core truth that makes you different, and the proof of your consistent actions. Your origin story is your secret weapon. It provides the most relatable entry point for a cold audience who might be intimidated or put off by your current level of success. Jeff Bezos utilized the story of his door desk to establish resourcefulness as a core truth of the Amazon brand. It's a relatable anchor that explains the company's early philosophy. Real credibility comes from proof, not a single past success story, but an ongoing pattern of action. It's about what you do every day, not what you say in your bio. Gary Vaynerchuk transitioned into a world-class authority by documenting his daily execution for over a decade. His advice carries weight because it is backed by a visible trail of evidence. A powerful brand story is built on the intentional decisions you make throughout your journey. It is those choices that ultimately shape how the world perceives your destination. Discovery requires high volume. Through the accordion method, we use quantity as a tool to learn what the audience subjectively defines as quality. This chart shows the engagement levels of a high-volume content strategy. Each dot is a post, and the spikes represent the few pieces of content that actually resonate with the market. Once you identify those spikes, you contract the accordion, doubling down on the proven winners and ignoring the topics that failed to move the needle. You humanize that expertise through interest stacking. By spending 80% of your time on your core topic and 20% on personal interests, you give the audience more opportunities to connect with you. A shared passion for an artist like Kendrick Lamar can instantly transform a casual follower into a work friend, creating a bond that goes beyond simple professional interest. Joe Rogan creates a superfan effect by discussing everything from comedy and MMA to hunting and science. If a viewer shares 3 or 4 of those interests, they become deeply attached to the persona. Your brand becomes unshakable when these interlocking interests create a profile that no competitor can replicate. It turns you into a unique, unified presence. High volume reveals what works for your business, while interest stacking reveals who you are to your audience. Scaling requires moving from random output to a platform-specific strategy. You are the same person, but you must adjust your tone and vocabulary to match the environment of each specific social event. As the workload increases, the transition from contractors to an in-house team becomes vital. You need people who are fully immersed in your brand's core truths and will protect them across every channel. This chart shows how a single expertise hub fuels an entire ecosystem. One long-form session provides the raw material for specialized content tailored for LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. Growth is a matter of contextualizing your message to reach the right people. You scale by making your core truths relevant to each new audience you encounter. When a brand is built on transparency and upfront value, sales become a natural byproduct. The transaction feels effortless because the relationship is already grounded in trust. The most successful brands occasionally return to their roots. This honors the original audience and reinforces the core identity that made the brand successful in the first place. Crayola maintains a multi-generational connection by tapping into nostalgia. By reintroducing classic colors, they reinforce their position as a permanent fixture in the customer's life. Authoritative brands bypass fleeting trends to focus on deepening their roots, establishing an unshakable legacy through a proven history of execution and human connection. Building an intentional brand is a long game. Every consistent pairing of truth and proof adds a new layer to a legacy that will eventually speak for itself.